Hi guys, this is Jason with Mediatek, and you can see these little headphones over here. Today I got an audio specific product that I guarantee you've never heard of. Okay, so phones are boring, right? They're slabs, they have cameras, they have a screen, and there's very little innovation. And I'm not pointing out any certain brand. I know Apple gets a lot of guff for doing the same thing over and over again, which is true, it's not innovation, but Android's not free of that anyways. On the Android side, we do have folding phones, as well as some other intriguing features, but for general purposes, in this conversation, we can probably all agree that phones are kind of boring. Well, there is a company, you probably never heard of them, and they released a phone recently right here. And as you can see, it's got like a little lady on it here in anime. And this is from a company who's never made a phone before called Moondrop Labs. And if you haven't heard about them, I don't suspect you do, but if you haven't heard of them, it wouldn't surprise me. So who are they? They're a Chinese company founded in 2015. Their focus is on integrating design and technology to create audiophile-oriented products. So basically they're making headphones. These aren't Moondrop headphones, but headphones, high quality headphones. It says they were founded in 2015. They established themselves in a market for in-ear monitors, or IEMs, known for their high-value, high sound quality, particularly targeting the Chinese market. Their success is attributed to their use of a target response that allows the listener to listen to a preferred sound that they created. But basically, high-end audio, and they do IEMs, they do earbuds, they do wireless earphones, high-end planar magnetic headphones, or planar. That's what these are. These are the monolith 1060Cs, I believe. They run about $299 and up on Monoprice's website. But either way, this phone was developed by this company as their first smartphone, and it prioritizes audio quality with some unique features like dual headphone jacks and a DSP for sound customization. So, like I said, they're a relatively young company, and it's kind of intriguing that they would step out of the shadows with a phone, especially with a market as saturated as it is. Here in the US, where I reside, it's either Apple or nothing else. It's just there isn't many options out there. Well, and on the Android side, it's Samsung, Google, that kind of stuff. But in the Chinese market, there's more of an equal playing field, so this may have a little more traction. Now, what is this? It's an audiophile phone designed for sound. It has dual 3.5 millimeter and a 4.4 millimeter headphone jack. And for those of you guys who don't know, this right here is the 4.4, and then if you unscrew this little adapter here, this is your standard headphone jack. So a lot of your higher end monitors like these use these kind of headphone jacks, the bigger size. But either way, it does have dual 3.5, 4.4. It has an interactive DSP, and it has a pure Android stock experience. Now, this is a Chinese phone, so I don't think out of the box it comes with Google services, but it does have an option in the settings, which I'll show you guys a little later if I can, that you just flip a switch and it does install certain Google Play services, but not all, and there have been some issues. But it's basically a stock version of Android. Now, for the processor, this is definitely not a high-end flagship phone. It runs a Mediatek 7050, which is definitely your lower-end to mid-range processor. 12 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM, 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1, and interestingly enough, you guys, this isn't dead either. It's expandable via micro SD up to 2 terabytes. It's got a 6.7-inch full HD plus AMOLED display with 120 refresh rate. So you're saying, oh, it's only 1080p plus. Well, the new Sony Xperias that used to have 4K are now running 1080p plus. Why is that important to know? You don't need much more than that on a small screen like this. Now, one interesting thing, if you go to the website, which I'll link in the description below, they talk about their cameras. And they make it pretty evident that the cameras aren't the selling. They're there and they create pictures. That's about it. So they're not going to be very good. But it's got a dual system in the rear of a 64 megapixel main sensor and an 8 megapixel secondary sensor. It doesn't say what kind of secondary sensor that is. On the front, you got a 32 megapixel. For the battery, you got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery with 33 watt fast charging, no wireless, stock Android 13. And that's about it. So I want to go over it real quick before I open it, because once I open it, I'm going to play with it. I'm going to plug in these headphones and just, go to town, see how it works. So as you can see here, it is sealed in plastic and with these little, I don't know, security seals. And I will cut this open real quick. Now, this is a Chinese phone, but from what I understand, the website, again, I'll link that website where I got it from. It is a global phone. Out of the box, it is a Chinese only with no Google Play, but there's a setting you can switch to get that going. So as you can see, before I go any further, anime, pretty much interesting box. But if you look at the top there, Moondrop MIAD01, mobile internet audio device. So as you can tell, it's marketed at audio. So that's one thing I think is a little different. We don't see a lot of people focusing on something like audio. It's more like games, pure horsepower, stuff like that. In the box, some ejection, and a nice, very nice braided USB Type-C cable, but no charger in the box. So it used to be where we'd say, oh, they don't have headphone jacks, they don't have, anything in the box. But nowadays, that's pretty common. With Chinese phones, it's not so common. I guess it's a little surprising coming that a Chinese phone doesn't have a charger in the box. So this is the device. You got a camera up top, and no, it does have a screen protector pre-built in. It's a plastic, frame, but it's got a weird texture in the back. So as you can see, dual camera. It's a unique design, I guess. It's got the branding right there, 4.4 balance, and with mic. So there's your two things in the top. You got, it turned itself on. So I don't know and as you can see, if you just saw that, it was in a different language. So obviously you come right here, you hit English, and then it's gonna ask you to set up your Wi-Fi. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bang through this real quick, and then I'm gonna show you the OS a little bit, try to find that setting where we can turn on Google Play, and then I'm gonna give it a try with Tidal Music Services, because they are one of the few that do hi-fi audio. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, so I got it set up. Interestingly enough, so you got this nice wallpaper. It does have a fingerprint reader, and it's doing it, if you can tell right now, it's doing an update. So it's a May 7th update, which just came out last week at the time of this recording. I don't know what that update is. There's no log, but I will tell you this. There's no Google to the right. That might change with the update. Initially, there's no Google Play services, but when you go to settings and you go to apps, you see right here, Google Basic Services right there. You just click that over and it automatically asks you to log into Google, you get Google Play. I read somewhere that Google Maps did not work, but I just opened it up, and I'm not gonna do it on the screen due to my address, but I did pull it up and it worked, and it started giving me directions. But as you can see, it's kind of an interesting little theme, I guess they have. So it's like the orange and basic. There is some bloatware like Weibo that we don't use here. There's also some other like this hi-fi music. I'm not sure what that is. Like this VIA. There's the something keyboard. I probably won't ever use those, but either way, they're there. I installed Tidal and I installed Maps to see if that worked. I haven't tried Google Wallet. I haven't tried any of that stuff. I was gonna kind of wait to see what happened at the end of this update. But I did install Tidal, and I was going to plug in these magnificent headphones over here just to see what they sound like. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, this is basically a stock Android experience. As you can see, it's got like a theme of orange and black. You got your basic stuff. You go to your settings, and then you have basically everything there under system. That's where you have the updater, and you can see right now it's finalizing the package installation. So what I'm going to do, go through this a little bit. I'm not going to go through everything. It's pretty fluid. I noticed with the keyboard, it's a little delayed, but it was also doing updates and downloading a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. But pretty smooth experience. The screen actually looks really good. It's an LED, OLED, 120 hertz, and it seems to be pretty quick. It's snappy. Again, this is not a super fast processor. It's more of a mid-range. And obviously we can go dark theme and turn that on so we can actually save some battery life with this phone. And then screen refresh rate is set as auto select out of the box, or you can do 120 or 60. So that's a quick overview of what this is. You know, it's pretty basic. One thing I'm not sure about, and I maybe should try, is if you see on the top there is this little black dot. I don't know if that's an IR blaster. I don't see any IR blaster software on this. So that might be something we could maybe download later on and see if it has it. But I didn't see anything in there where it said it has an IR blaster, but it wouldn't surprise me being that this is a Chinese phone. A lot of phones over there do have IR blasters. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is set this down. I'm gonna wait till that package is done updating the phone, and then I'm gonna turn the video, start the video back up, plug in some headphones. I'm gonna use the bigger jack, and we're gonna see what it sounds like. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm not really sure what the update did, but some kind of weird things. So apparently I was wrong about the adapter. This is not the right one, but it still plugs in. They're both running a DAC, so it should be good. I have the headphones on now. Planar headphones aren't developed for like bass heavy as most newer ones are, but these are closed back. In all reality, monoplanar headphones are not closed back, but having a closed back allows that little more bass response. So what I did, so it's running, it's on Wi-Fi only. I don't have a SIM card in it yet, so I will test that next to see if it works on T-Mobile at least. But everything's working. I got an update. The App Store is working, Maps is working. So I go into here and I go to Tidal, and I was just playing like Coldplay. And if you click on Coldplay, it's at max, so you can change it to, this is the max high res you can get. And I was listening to Yellow, and it seemed pretty good. So I'm gonna start Parachutes and just kind of listen to it for a second. I know it's kind of boring for you guys because you can't hear it, but these headphones are pretty damn good for the fidelity. Like right now, it's a guitar playing, and you can hear, like literally hear the strumming of the guitar strings. And I'll be honest, it's turned up pretty high. So in all reality, they sound really good. I think it's really dependent on the headphones that you use. I'm not gonna sit here for hours and record a video while I'm listening to music, but one thing I kind of trying to figure out is it's got this DAC built into it, but there's no EQ. There's this Hi-Fi music app, and when you go to the settings, there is an EQ that you can kind of play around with. And it's kind of hard to see for you guys, but it doesn't actually affect anything but this app. So going to settings here and going to sound and vibration, I don't really see a whole lot except for like your normal like up and down and vibration sounds. So I'm gonna have to play with it a little more to see where the information is about, you know, the EQ. I mean, this is a phone based on its sound, and I didn't really see much about it. So either way, the device is running Android 13 stock version. I just got an update. Let's see if I can see what version of, you know, so you got your Android 13 right there, it says, and then I don't see, there we go. Looks like we're on the May security update. So I just got the May security update. So we'll see how long this is going to be supported for. I don't really have a whole lot of information and how long it's going to be supported, but I can. All right, guys, sorry about the delay. So in essence, this is a mid-range to budget phone that is basically a audiophile's dream. Some things I do not like about it. Now, it is a plastic build, but it's a pretty good looking phone. It doesn't have a case. They include a file on the phone so you can 3D print a case if you'd like. But as a plastic case, I mean, a plastic phone is probably not a big deal. While you saw that setting I showed you earlier to install Google services, basic services, there is some things missing, so Google Wallet more than likely will not work. Android Auto will probably not work, although Google Maps does. There's no like system-wide EQ, and I was looking and looking and looking, and the only thing I really found was this audio console, which kind of simulates an audio like tubes, old school tube style sound, and this spatial audio. And when you go to settings, there isn't really anything you can do. So like most DACs that you can buy as separate, that are just DACs by themselves, have a system-wide EQ. And if you use this Hi-B Music, yes, there's a ton of stuff in here, but you're gonna have to supply the files to play it. You can't stream it. So with that being said, it is what it is. Now, I don't have this 4.4 adapter for these headphones. I will pick it up to see if this is the balance sounds better or not. But I will tell you, it pumps out some good sound, clear. And remember, you buy this phone and you have a set of really cheap earbuds, you're not gonna hear, especially Bluetooth, because Bluetooth already has codecs that change things. Wired wise, you don't just go get your iPhone old school wired earbuds and hope they're going to sound good. You got to have something that's nice. And I'm not saying you have to go out and spend $300 on something like this, but they have other ones you can purchase that may sound better. So the price for this, I'll leave a link down in the description. It's Hi-Fi Now, I believe, the website or something like that. And they sell it. It comes from China, so it takes anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to come in. It's $3.99 with free shipping. So if you want it quicker, obviously the price goes up to like $30 right off the rip. So it is a very niche phone. It's something a little different. It's plastic. It's got a good screen. It's got decent performance. It's not going to be a killer gaming machine, but if you are an audiophile, you don't want to carry multiple items with you, this might be the phone for you. So like I said, maybe they'll have an EQ coming out. It's just a feature update, but like we always say, when you do a quick review or quick look at a device, you got to look at it as what it is when it comes in. So this is the, like I said, this is the Moondrop MIAD01 Android phone, and it's available now. So check it out. Thanks for watching.